Welcome back, everyone. My name is Patrick. You're watching the Oilers Rundown. Have a few updates to go over with you guys. Let's start with the latest from Elliotte Friedman on 32 Thoughts. Elliotte Friedman had this. The latest word on the ERIK KARLSSON talks is it's 1 in a million. Which, of course, that means it happens. I do think they've made a pitch for Patrick Kane, but it's up to the winger to decide. We're all wondering if that's the best use of their assets. And what I'm guessing is that they want the option to have a strong second line if they play Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl together. Kane, Nugent-Hopkins, Kane could work. One thing GM Ken Holland wanted to protect himself against was being shorthanded due to injury, which is why he didn't waive anyone. Now, Dylan Holloway is out, and Evander Kane is banged up. Holland drafted Tyler Bertuzzi, so I think there was interest there too. But it's not relevant with Detroit still in the race. If Patrick Kane says no to Edmonton, we will see what secondary options exist. They already declined a big ask for Lafferty. Do Philip Broberg and Vincent Desharnais make them feel strong enough to not add on defense? So what do we take from that? It's looking more and more like ERIK KARLSSON really is just a pipe dream. Some people have said that right from the beginning. It's not going to happen. Don't get excited about it. And I think we've all been warned right from the start that that was a very distinct and probably the most likely possibility. But I'm still going to hold on to that tiniest little bit of a chance that something comes down here last minute. It's trade deadline day. It hasn't happened yet. The Oilers and Sharks decide to give it one last go, see what happens. Of course, if that's still a possibility, it means that Ken Holland probably hasn't done much of anything leading up to trade deadline day. But hey, I'm just keeping that out there as a possibility. Yes, it's very unlikely that ERIK KARLSSON's happening at this point, but I'm going to hold on to that smallest of chances that it could still possibly happen. Everybody and their uncle saying that the Oilers really shouldn't go all in on Patrick Kane. They have no trouble scoring. It's been the argument right from last summer, right when we were first starting to talk about Kane. The Oilers really don't need him. Should they really be giving up big assets for what would essentially be just a luxury? I mean, I certainly wouldn't mind having Patrick Kane here, but probably there is other areas the Oilers should more primarily focus on in improving this team before the playoffs. But if Patrick Kane becomes an Edmonton Oiler, I'm certainly not going to complain about it. But once again, it all depends on what Kane wants. He's got the no-trade clause there, so Patrick Kane's going to go where he wants to go, and it might not be the Edmonton Oilers. So just like ERIK KARLSSON, everyone should prepare themselves for the probably strong possibility that the Edmonton Oilers aren't going to land ERIK KARLSSON and they aren't going to land Patrick Kane. And there is a group out there hoping for Sam Lafferty. That looks like that's not happening either. The ask is just simply too big from the Chicago Blackhawks. And the last point that Elliotte Friedman made there, do Philip Broberg and Vincent Desharnais make the Oilers feel like they really don't have to upgrade on defense? Are those guys going to be able to carry the load? I don't think that would be the wisest move right now. Vincent Desharnais has certainly come in, made an amazing impact on this team, but putting that kind of pressure on him, like he's the go-to guy for the playoffs, I don't think that's a wise move for the Edmonton Oilers. I think they should add. I was listening to the Oil Stream this afternoon with Dustin Nielsen and Tom Gazzola. Tom Gazzola mentioning that the Oilers could be in the market for a veteran right shot D that has an expiring contract. And we don't need to look too far for a possible target that's already being held out of the lineup. Just look west to the Vancouver Canucks, where veteran defenseman Luke Schenn, making just $850,000, is potentially available there for the Edmonton Oilers. Luke Schenn, of course, is going to generate a lot of interest. Are the Vancouver Canucks going to trade to the Edmonton Oilers? Hey, anything could happen here, right? He's exactly the kind of player it looks like the Oilers are in the market for. So, hey, can't have ERIK KARLSSON, but maybe Luke Schenn as our consolation prize. But at the end of the day, maybe he's really the better target for the Edmonton Oilers. I don't know. I have a hard time believing that. I really want ERIK KARLSSON, but we'll see what happens there, guys. Just one possible name. There's probably many other possible targets out there. Veteran right shot D on expiring contracts. The Oilers clearly don't want money on the books going forward here, so just mentioning Luke Schenn as one possible target. Could we see Jesse Puljujarvi heading to the Colorado Avalanche? Well, Current Avalanche forward Mikko Rantanen would definitely be in favor of that. He said the following on Jesse Puljujarvi possibly joining the Colorado Avalanche. Our management wants to know exactly what kind of person he is. Does he fit in? I know that Sakic has been very meticulous about what kind of person someone is off the ice. It seems that it has had a big impact on our leadership. We don't just take anyone just because they can play, if they don't fit in with our locker room and culture. According to Rantanen, Puljujarvi would fit in with the team. The friends, who won the World Junior Gold Medal together, have stayed in touch during this season as well. Listen, I've been thinking the exact same thing, said Finnish NHL star Mikko Rantanen in the Total NHL Forever podcast. I know what a great guy Jesse is. I would welcome him with open arms. It would be a fresh, new start for him here with a good dressing room and good support around him. I believe it would definitely work. So it looks like we can count the Colorado Avalanche as a possible destination for Jesse Puljujarvi. There definitely looks to be some mutual interest there. Can they make a deal happen? We'll see what happens. The Vancouver Canucks, as I was just mentioning with Luke Schenn, are willing to take on contracts, so possibly maybe we could see a Jesse Puljujarvi, Luke Schenn swap with some draft picks involved there. Another possibility for the Oilers to move on from Puljujarvi. He pretty much has to go if the Oilers are going to make any other additions here at the trade deadline. And just a couple team notes to wrap up today. DFO insider Frank Saravalli reporting that Evander Kane is expected to be out a few weeks. Not long enough for the Oilers to utilize long-term injured reserve or gain any kind of advantage at the trade deadline. So don't get too excited in that regard. Evander Kane is just basically out for the Oilers with no real benefit. And lastly for today, Bob Stauffer made special mention of Bakersfield Condor Noah Philp. Philp has 5 goals and 6 assists for 11 points and is a +5 in his last 9 games played. He is second amongst Bakersfield forwards with 12 goals and 10 even-strength goals. The 6'3", 200-pound right-shot center is improving in the faceoff circle. Solid free agent signing by Edmonton Oilers management. I mentioned Noah Philp last summer as someone who I thought maybe had kind of an outside shot at possibly making the team as the fourth-line center. Obviously, that hasn't come to pass. The Oilers are just simply too deep in that position, but I think Noah Philp could definitely have a shot at making the team next year. Is he a replacement for Derek Ryan in that fourth-line center role, or possibly fourth-line right wing, a guy that brings some size to the bottom 6, can score a bit? See what happens there, but keep an eye on Noah Philp as a guy that could possibly break through with the Edmonton Oilers next season. Well, I think that's all for now, guys. Just as I'm wrapping up, I see a trade is breaking between the Chicago Blackhawks and Ottawa Senators. To the Chicago Blackhawks, Nikita Zaitsev, a 2023 second-round pick and a 2026 fourth-round pick, and to the Ottawa Senators, future considerations. So the Sens move nearly $6 million in real cash off the books on Zaitsev's deal and pay to do it. The question is, what's next for Ottawa? That tweet from Frank Saravalli, well, things are heating up here for the trade deadline. Let me know your thoughts on everything in today's video in the comment section below. If this is your first visit to the channel and you like what you see, please consider liking and subscribing for all the latest Oilers content. You've been watching the Oilers Fanatic. Thanks for being a fan. Take care, guys. I'll see you soon.